said I wasn't a good neighbor, that I was stingy. I left her stranded. But I'd loaned her my ladder, my tools, even my Wi-Fi for weeks. And when I finally said no, suddenly I was the bad guy. This story isn't black and white. It's about kindness, boundaries, and what happens when the line between being helpful and being used gets blurry. If you've ever had a friend or a neighbor take more than they give, this one's for you. My name is Alana. I'm 24 years old, and I live in a mid-sized apartment complex in a small city, one of those places where you kinda recognize everyone in the building, even if you don't know their names. But one person I do know by name, my neighbor Kaya. Kaya is 27. She lives 2 doors down in a 1-bedroom unit, and she moved in about 9 months ago. We met during a power outage one evening. The whole block had gone dark, and I was standing on the balcony trying to see if it was just our building. She was out there too, wrapped in a hoodie, holding a candle, and we joked about the apocalypse together. After that, we kind of became balcony acquaintances. We'd wave, sometimes chat, and over time, that turned into the occasional hallway chat, then visits. Kaya was friendly, charismatic in a slightly chaotic way. She had this free-spirited vibe, wavy brown hair always tied in a messy bun, incense coming from her apartment, music drifting through her open window. The type of person who talks about their crystals, swears they know how to read tarot, and never quite remembers where she put her keys. Honestly, I liked her at first. She was a breath of fresh air. But then she started borrowing things. It started small, like it always does. One afternoon, she knocked on my door with a sheepish smile. "Hey, Alana, you wouldn't happen to have a hammer, would you? I just need to hang a couple of pictures." Of course, I had one. I handed it over. She thanked me, promised to return it that night. She didn't. I figured she forgot. A few days later, I asked for it back. She handed it over, no big deal. But then it was a screwdriver set, then a ladder, then duct tape, then my Wi-Fi password. She came over one night, this was around month 3 of knowing her, and said her internet had gone down. She had a paper due for an online class and was desperate. "Please, just for the night? I promise, once my provider fixes it, I'll stop using it." I gave her the password. One night turned into a week. Then 2. She never brought it up again. I didn't either, not at first. I rationalized it. Maybe she didn't realize she was still connected. Maybe she forgot. Or maybe I was being petty for even caring. It's not like I had a data cap. But then came the ladder incident. I'd bought a ladder for a small DIY project, nothing huge, just repainting my bathroom ceiling. Kaya asked if she could borrow it to hang lights on her balcony. Again, I said yes. She said she'd return it the next day. That was on a Sunday. 2 weeks later, the ladder was still MIA. I asked once casually. She said, "Oh my God, I forgot. I've been so busy with work stuff. I'll drop it off tonight." She didn't. Another 5 days passed. I finally knocked on her door and asked for it. This time, she gave it back half apologetic, half distracted. No, thank you, no acknowledgement of the delay. It was frustrating, but I didn't confront her. I just started keeping mental tally. The screwdriver set? Still missing. My duct tape? Gone. My Wi-Fi? Still connected. And now the ladder had become a negotiation. I never expected payment. I wasn't keeping a spreadsheet, but I noticed the pattern. Take, forget, delay. And no offer to reciprocate. Then came the weekend grocery run. The moment everything changed. It was a regular Saturday afternoon. I'd just gotten paid, so I went to stock up. Nothing fancy, just essentials, rice, veggies, some eggs, a frozen pizza for when I didn't feel like cooking. I was checking out when I heard a voice behind me. "Alana? Oh my God, hi." It was Kaya. She was standing in the next line over, her cart piled with food. I smiled, genuinely, but immediately something felt off. She looked flustered. Nervous. "I'm so sorry, I did the dumbest thing ever," she said, laughing awkwardly. "I left my wallet at home. Can you cover me real quick? I'll pay you back tonight." Her total was $85. $85. I blinked. She hadn't offered me $5 for Wi-Fi after using it for a month, hadn't returned a screwdriver set, and hadn't acknowledged weeks of keeping my ladder. And now she wanted almost $90? I looked at her cart. Bottled cold brew, organic cheese, avocado chips, and 3 6-packs of microbrew beer. I hesitated. And in that hesitation, she looked at me like I was making it weird. Seriously, I'll pay you back tonight. I swear. I cleared my throat. Kaya, I can spot you like $20 if you just want to grab some essentials. But I really can't cover the whole thing. I'm sorry. Her face froze, then fell. Wow, she muttered. Seriously? She didn't yell. She didn't make a scene. But she didn't hide the disappointment either. I'd do it for you, she said, loud enough that the cashier glanced up. I didn't respond. What was I supposed to say? No, you wouldn't? She ended up putting most of her stuff back. Bought what she could with $11 she found in her coat. I offered to walk her home. She declined. The next week was awkward. Kaya stopped waving. She didn't smile when we passed in the hallway. I knocked on her door once to check in, maybe smooth things over, and she didn't answer, even though I heard movement inside. Then, a few days later, my upstairs neighbor Sarah mentioned something casually. You and Kaya have a falling out or something. She was telling people you left her hanging at the store. Said you were kind of stingy. That she would have helped you. Stingy. That word hit harder than I expected. Not because it was true, but because I wasn't sure if it wasn't. Had I crossed a line? Could I have just helped her out? Was I making a bigger deal of the past than it deserved? That night, I lay in bed, replaying it all. Yes, she borrowed things. But wasn't I being a little petty? Holding onto a list of grievances like a scorecard? Was I the one turning a neighborly relationship into a transaction? But then again, shouldn't relationships be balanced? I wasn't asking for gifts. I just wanted acknowledgement, reciprocity, respect. And $85 wasn't nothing. That was 2 tanks of gas. That was half my grocery budget. That was a utility bill. Maybe in Kaya's mind, I was being unfair. Maybe she believed she would have helped me. After Sarah told me Kaya was calling me stingy, I started noticing a shift. A few of the other neighbors, ones I barely knew, stopped greeting me in the hallway. One even avoided getting on the elevator with me. I wondered how far the story had spread. Had Kaya cast me as the selfish girl who refused to help a neighbor in need? Did they know about the ladder? The tools? The Wi-Fi? Did they care? It made me feel paranoid. I started dreading leaving my apartment. Avoided shared laundry times. Cut short my balcony nights. I started to realize this wasn't about the money. Not really. It was about the slow erosion of trust. The exhaustion of always giving and never being given to. Of watching someone smile and charm their way into your kindness, only to leave with more than they gave back. It was about boundaries. About self-respect. And maybe, just maybe, about standing up finally for the part of me that was tired of being used. So here I am. I didn't pay for her groceries. I didn't rescue her from an embarrassing moment. And now I'm the villain in her version of events. But I've spent 6 months watching her chip away at my patience, and I just couldn't do it anymore. Was I petty? Was I punishing her for unrelated past behaviors? Or was I justified? I don't hate Kaya. I don't even want an apology. I just wanted boundaries. I wanted the kind of neighborly relationship that felt mutual, not manipulative. And maybe I failed to communicate that sooner. Maybe I let resentment build until the only way I knew how to protect myself was by saying no when she asked for something big. And maybe that no felt like a betrayal to her. But to me, it felt like finally reclaiming a little piece of my self-respect. So, what do you think? Was I wrong for saying no at the register after months of silent frustration? Was it fair to finally set a boundary when the stakes were higher, or did I choose the wrong moment to make a stand? Let's talk about it. Drop your verdict in the comments. But go deeper. Would you have paid? Have you ever had a neighbor like Kaya? And if you love diving into stories where morality gets messy, be sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and share with someone who'd have an opinion on this one. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay kind, and don't be afraid to set boundaries.